What is up, everyone in the world? I'm your girl, Miss T with the T. We are tardy for the party as usual. Today we're having a special guest by the name of the Potted RV. She's all the way in Oklahoma. She's going to be telling us about her channel and what she has growing on over there on her channel. And we're going to try to support her as much as possible because she's a newer content creator and all that good stuff. We also have Fresh and Fire and F. Smith coming up here in a minute as well. But me and the Potted RV have been back here talking. And yeah, I was like, it's 9:23 here. So let's go ahead and start the show because we don't like to stay too late. I know F. Smith and everyone has to go to church and whatnot. So yeah, what's up, Joshua Gabrielle? So without further ado to you, I would like to introduce to you the Potted RV. How you doing? I'm sorry it's raining over there.
Yeah, it's pouring. I wish it would stop raining. I was looking forward to as I finished out those two other bigger beds that moved the strawberries over. I was looking forward to seeing how they would look in the background, but it's pouring here. So that didn't happen.
What's up, Joshua and Jaden? Thank you so much. I'm trying something different. We got about 6-7 people at the moment. Usually people come in a little bit later. Thank you. So tell people of the world about your channel, first of all.
My channel is more small space gardening. I do actually live in a wheel with myself, my husband, my 2.5-year-old son, and our English Mastiff with one cat that's supposed to live in here, but she almost never comes inside. And I wanted to show it, but it's pouring, so that's not going to happen. I have a potted garden that goes from one end of my fifth wheel and wraps around the back end of it.
Sorry.
A large amount of vegetables mostly. I only have one thing in my garden that's non-edible, and that's African daisies. Otherwise, everything in my garden is edible in some way or form.
Okay. That is awesome. So how long have you been gardening?
31 years. Well, almost 32.
Wow.
And because of my nomadic nature, it's been all the way from South Dakota all the way down into Arizona and Texas. I started my first garden just outside of Colorado Springs, Colorado, when I was 9 years old.
Wow. So, out of the things you garden, what's your favorite type of gardening? Flowers or food or?
My favorite type of garden is a vegetable garden. Flowers, I have a tendency to have my favorite flowers are mostly perennials. So once they're there, it's just a maintenance thing rather than constantly transitioning things out, which is why I like vegetables. It's because fruit gardening, you have some perennial things, but most things you're transitioning out and you constantly are replanting and transitioning. So I tend to prefer vegetable gardening. Although I do have flowers in my garden too.
I tried the flower thing. The flowers don't really last as long for me as I don't know. I have better results with the food garden, particularly like vegetable garden. Sorry, I'm sending this to her email right now. I had to look. Okay, there we go. Now, I do get discouraged. Like it's more so with me when I see like the critters of the gardening community. I just like, yeah, you guys can have it. That's when I get discouraged.
I used to raise tarantulas, and I was actually bit by a rattlesnake when I was 7. So I have a bit of a lack of fear when it comes to critters that I probably should have a little bit more fearful respect of that I just don't.
Oh, you're so brave. I had a rabbit coming for my basil. I had to cover her up, and It was a healthy looking rabbit. I was like, do I want to keep doing this? But since I covered up the basil, it's been I haven't really seen her as much. She probably like tries to sneak and still grabs. But we do have here behind the scenes. I'm waiting for her to give me the thumbs up. You ready to come up fresh? Okay, she said 1 minute. But she is fresh and fire, the dynamic duo all the way in Georgia, sipping on her coffee. You ready, girl? Okay. So without further ado, there's Fresh and Fire.
Good morning, y'all.
Good morning. She's the one I get discouraged a lot. Like I told you, hey G Mama, G Mama has a lot of knowledge on gardening. I get discouraged, like I told you, and Fresh and Fire is always like, girl, what you need to do is okay.
Yes. Gotta talk her down. I
know. I'll just be like, goodbye, garden. Goodbye.
Especially when bugs appear on the scene. All bets are off.
Aphids in the house. I said, oh no. Yeah, Potted RV, Fresh and Fire.
Nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you.
So, out of your 30 plus years of gardening, what is your least favorite? Mine is the critters. What is your least favorite?
Weeds.
Bees?
Which is probably most gardeners' least favorite thing is weeding. The weeds are the bane of my existence, no matter what kind of garden I've ever had. Especially when I got pregnant and they told me I couldn't go out and actually put my hands in the soil because I had feral cats around. So watching the weeds overtake and could do nothing about it, I've grown a serious hatred of weeds.
Fresh, I think I never asked you this, but what is your least favorite part of gardening?
Probably aphids in the heat. I try to get stuff done before like the dead of summer.
Yeah.
In my life right now, I do not like being hot. And just with Georgia humidity, it intensifies it like 1,000 times more. So yeah. As far as bugs, aphids are the bane of my existence. Can't stand those jokers. You go from like a few to your plant is swarming with them, and they just look so gross.
That's because aphids are born with clones. They can produce both sexually and asexually. Female aphids will spit out more exact replicas of themselves.
Exactly.
And they multiply like crazy.
And it doesn't help that the ants protect them and actually farm them.
So, yep, they do.
It's a disgusting little relationship they have.
Yes.
But nature, so it is what it is.
You guys keep talking. I'm going to drop the Potted RV link in the chat.
Okay.
Yeah, when I saw those aphids at first, I said, like, what is that? What is And Fresh had to talk me down. She was like, calm down. It's normal.
I love ladybugs and always have. So you can, a lot of times right at the beginning of spring, you can find ladybug larvae in loaves. And I will just open them up right there in the middle of the garden, and they help with the aphids. I used to live in Tucson, Arizona for 8 years, and we had serious aphid problems on our roses. Every year my roses would be covered, and you almost couldn't tell there was a rose underneath it. And that was our solution to it, was going and getting the ladybug larva, because the larva will, as well as the adults, eat both mealybugs and aphids.
I haven't really seen ladybugs. I've seen the bees, definitely. The aphids. I've seen cabbage moths on my broccoli. And I've seen a whole rabbit right in the front door.
Cabbage moths are fairly simple. If I find them, I just pull them off.
Yeah.
Hey, Don't Hurt the Harvest. How you doing?
Yeah, a lot of times the way I beat the cabbage moths, the cabbage loopers, the little worms, is to keep my stuff covered. With brassicas, that's what they focus on. So a lot of times I just keep it covered. I order like one of those large sheer pieces of material. You can get it from the fabric store too, but I like to order it online because you can get it large because I have large beds and just do some hoops over the whole bed. And with brassicas, you don't need any pollinators, so I just keep mine covered all season. I still have a shear on my tree collars out there since they're all year round. But the cabbage loopers love them. They will eat them down to the sticks. So if I want to have tree collars, I got to keep them covered all year round.
Yeah, I saw the cat. I guess it was more or less the babies. You gotta go through the leaves and get the little caterpillars and whatnot. I said, no, you can go ahead and have it.
You throw the whole plant away, didn't you?
If you grow them in seed in little pods or trays, then move them out and keep them covered, you won't have the little worms in them because they have to get underneath the covering to get to them.
Yeah.
So
I never had.
Do I like in advance? Do I put the covering on because I know they're coming?
If you're going to do that method, most people will go ahead and do it as soon as they put them in the ground, so they stay covered the entire time.
Okay. Yes, the harvest. I said, let it go. Let it go.
Yeah. You threw the whole plant away, didn't you?
I did. And it stayed out there for like 2 years, RIP.
Oh, wow.
Recently just emptied out the fungi or whatever was in the raised bed. I was like, oh no, mama can't do that.
You don't have to worry about it yet. It's just mainly they focus on brassicas. So, yeah.
Okay. Anything else you don't really have to worry about. But that's why a lot of people will do a bed that is just brassicas so that they can manage that. I have a bigger problem with squash vine wars where I'm at than I do cabbage moths. And I'm about to try a different seed company. I just got in because I have to, with being a completely 100% potted garden, I have to go with varieties that work well in potted gardens. So I finally came across a winter squash and a melon that are varieties that do well in potted. So I'm going to see if I can manage to avoid squash vine wars this year. We're going to find out the hard way.
I think we're on the same page. I gave up on growing squash for a while, and I've been doing some research on varieties that the squash vine borers really don't like. So we're going to try those out, me and a coworker, to see if we can beat the borer, because they're so gross. When you have to try to get there and put them out.
Trying to do surgery on them is... Because I will on occasion try to save the plant by surgically removing the borer. And
what type of borer is this you guys speak of?
It's a squash vine borer. It likes I can't remember. There's one variety of squash, one type of squash that it doesn't tend to prefer, but the others it bores into the stem and slowly kills the plant from the inside.
Oh Lord, I'm Googling it now. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta go in there and like try to dig it out. Lately, I've been inject the squash plant with some BT or spinoside. Yeah. But that's when I get Miss T in the garden. I'll throw the whole plant away. I ain't got some. I do not. That's why I haven't even tried squash the past couple of years, because I'm like, until I figure this out, let me take a moment back, because it hurt my feelings. I had to throw my plant away because it was just infested by the time I noticed it. So but this one is out there, and so we're gonna try to fight them this year, and it also grow some winter squash like you were saying, and see if we can beat the borer, because I love my squash.
You see CC put it's pretty. It's pretty.
Yeah.
Do you like butternut squash?
Huh?
Do you like butternut squash fresh?
I do like. Well, I don't like it sauteed, but in desserts, I've had it like as a pie. So I actually have one that I'm going to try. I think it's a buttercup butternut squash or something. That's one of the ones that seems to be resistant.
That-
I bought.
That's
So
what I have is the butter baby, and it's supposed
yeah,
to be resistant. That's why I got it. So I was like, if you like it, I have some extra seed for it. I'd be happy to send you some of it. So if you have any better luck than me, because you're in a similar climate as far as humidity and
yeah,
thick.
right,
While we
yeah,
are here, I want to say thank you for all. You gave me a lot of seeds. Thank you.
yeah.
I do long-term storage. So when I tell you I'm going to send you seeds, be prepared because I have 3 separate bins that are long-term storage seeds.
Wow. How many bins you have? Fresh has a lot going on over there too.
I well, the coworker I mentioned, I was laughing. She was laughing at me because I started going through seeds. I was about to buy some new ones, thinking I didn't even bought the ones I already had. So I have like multiple bins of seeds and bags. I'm trying to organize now because I'm like, okay, I've already like done that
Well,
before, where I bought multiple packs of
baby,
seeds
can you
that I
grab
already.
me one of my bins of seeds?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have stacks of like my little cases that I have them all nice and neat, but I have them in bags. I have them in baskets too that I need to put in the cases. So I got seeds everywhere.
Let me put my
I'm
friend
having my
Dr.
husband grab
Harper on.
one of mine because when I mean long-term storage,
Oh,
if you have a lot of seeds and you don't throw them away, because a lot of people will throw them away if they see them expired. They're not expired. That's the legal requirements that the
Exactly.
USDA has, that they have to be sold within the year that they are pulled from the plant.
mm.
Right.
They can't sell them. That doesn't mean they're bad. You can still
Exactly.
use them, which is why I long-term storage.
Yeah.
When I say long-term storage, I mean this
Oh, yeah.
has uh, this has a felt cover for each one of them. They slot into them, and it's 2 layers deep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
And
Oh, you fancy over there.
I know. All organized and whatnot.
these are not really expensive. I was being driven crazy. I had done the method that a lot of the bigger YouTubers, after years and years of a shoebox, I tried the little photo organizers that a lot of the bigger YouTubers were touting. I tried that for a couple of years. Those are clear. So seeds don't do well with heat and sun. They'll handle somewhat cool, but not heat and sun. So I was having seeds quit on me far sooner than they should have.
Mm-hmm.
So I spent like 2 years researching something that would work.
Mm-hmm.
This has been probably the best method I've had, but like I tell people, I don't recommend it for someone who's new to gardening because you don't have the information on the back of the seed packet this way as you would with some of the other methods. But
Yeah.
I have multiples of the same variety, but they've been pulled at different years, and I don't want them mixed together. So this
Okay.
is the method I go with.
So G Mama said nice seed storage, and CC's Texas Garden said, do you collect more basic seeds or specialty seeds?
I have, you name it, I've probably got it. Um, I use a lot of specialty. If I come across a variety that I've never grown before and I've never heard of, I'll oftentimes buy it having no clue and
We're on the
still do.
same page. I have a rare seed website I like to buy stuff on. I have no idea. It's stuff that doesn't even people don't grow in this country, but I
Yeah,
got it.
I have probably 15 varieties of pole beans that I don't even grow pole beans very often, but I have them because they looked interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I
And
was a lot of the gardeners. I was like, I've never heard of any of this stuff. You know, I'm your grocery store gardener. Like, it's just cherries. It's just oranges. Like you guys know,
Oh,
I never even heard of soursop. I was like, what is this you speak
no.
of?
Yeah, there's so many different varieties. So yeah.
There is, and when you grab a tomato from the grocery store, that particular variety is bred to be long term, and they're. I literally watched the guy that bred those, and he'll tell you they are not bred to have any taste at all. They're bred to where you can sit them on your counter and they will not go bad for 2 months. You take one of mine off of the vine and do that, you're going to have a rotted mess. But there is so much more flavor there.
Exactly.
Oh, a whole lot more flavor. I don't touch because those are that variety that they grow for grocery stores is called the everlasting variety. It's actually that's its variety name is everlasting tomato. I won't touch them. They're
gross. And that's why it's like whenever it's, people say, "Oh, I don't like vegetables," or kids say, "I don't like vegetables," I'm like, okay, please try to introduce that kid to some homegrown veggies because the flavor is completely different than what you get in the store.
My son is a connoisseur of food. My aunt on my mother's side was a professional chef, and she's his little foodie. Well, I said that backwards. He's her little foodie. But this kid is used to everything vegetable-wise being mostly homegrown. So he forages in my garden all day long. He sits and it's the peas all day long. I don't know how those peas are not done. Probably because the 2-year-old keeps keeping them well harvested.
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
So my next question, Potted RV, like I have limited space because I'm in a condo, so a lot of people are blessing me with seeds. I'm blessed and highly favored, as Sonia Whitney said. And what's up, Sarah? How you doing, girl? So I'm trying to find room. I know you're in an RV. How do you manage space?
One of the things I have, like I started using those really big row beds, which they're 8-slot beds, but they're very long and they only say maybe the width of a table, but they behave just like you would a grow bed that people have putted in the ground. But you can actually place them like on a patio. They are movable. They're harder than crap to move once they have soil in them. But they have been my go-to after I did the one up on the nose of the trailer. I've gone to doing 2 more, and I'm thinking about doing a 4th one.
Okay.
That's
Fresh has going on over there. She got all kinds of stuff in her backyard.
Right now, it might be a little sparse, but yeah, I got as far as fruit trees and everything, I got a lot going on. So I'm doing a pear harvest this year for the first time, and I was about to throw that whole pear tree away. It already had replacements bought and everything. So, but me and Broke do the same thing. We threaten our fruit trees, and then they start producing. So.
I grew up with Borden pears, and if you don't know what that is, it's canning pears. And 2 of them on either side of our pasture. The dogs liked those more than the people. But I have been, because of those 2 trees, I've been thinking about doing 2 dwarf varieties, apple tree. And in all honesty, if you're wanting to do a decent sized potted garden on a lower end budget, the grow beds, those beds about $25. I think it's $25 to $30 for 2 of them. That's what I paid for the 2 front here. And then I have a lot of the faux whiskey barrel ones that Walmart sells for $15. So if you're in need to do keeping the cost low and still maintaining the ability to move things around.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I've gone about it. It has helped me a lot in cost because my husband, that's one thing he doesn't about my gardening habit is it gets expensive, mostly with soil though.
Yeah, soil like kicks my butt. My dad just keeps throwing it away. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, you used to you garden.
Yeah.
Yeah, my sister's the gardener. She's the gardener. I used to call her Bob, like as in Bob the Builder, because she's like she has all the hardware. Like if anything breaks down over here, she's right across the street. I'm like, hey sis, can you come over here? You got to drill. Like when I had to put the holes in the bottom of the tomato container. Yeah, come over here with your drill.
Everything you need.
Okay.
Believe it or not, that mistake even I made. And I've been gardening for 31 years. I made that mistake this year. I had roses in a pot that I thought I had put holes in. And it was like a week or so later that I wasn't seeing that pot drain. And I had to have my husband, who was not happy with me because when it's been a week or so, that water stinks in heaven as it drains out. And we had to do the same thing, is lift it up and put drain holes in it while it had soil.
Okay. So I know Queen said she had to work today. So last time she was here, she had questions. So I invited her. She wants to come up and ask some questions before she goes back to work. I'm gonna just drop the link. She wants to come on up. Cause she said she was a beginner gardener, but she named all the stuff she got going on. I said, are you a beginner gardener? Because
that's actually normal for a lot of beginners to get in a bit over their head. And that's the best way how to learn. I even let my 9-year-old nephew years ago, now he's like almost 6, I think he just turned 15. And I let him go through all of my seeds and pick what he wanted to plant. We had fun that year because it was more than even I could handle.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. I was like, with me, I like to start with 1 or 2 because like one moment I had aphids and then we got a rabbit outside and it was just too much. It was too much. But kudos to those who can do it. What's up, Tampa? Experience is the best teacher. If you want to know anything about bees, holla at Sarah's Happy Hives. And thank you, G Mama, for dropping the link for the website. Oh man. So let me see. We covered aphids and storage and everything else. Oh, Queen had a question up here. Let me see. Mm-hmm. What do you suggest for aphids?
My suggestion for aphids is always first and foremost to go with ladybug larvae. You can either purchase them on Amazon or you can purchase them in the beginning of spring at Lowe's. If you have too big of an aphid problem, is to use neem oil. But when you use neem oil, the bottle doesn't say this, but it will add a very serious shine to your plant's leaves. So you want to do the neem oil at night as you're going, basically putting everything to bed, spray everything down with neem oil the day before you're going to water so that you help take some of that shine off the next morning when you water. Otherwise, you're going to have scalding on some of your leaves. I had a serious problem with my roses on that one. I had to go with neem oil, and that's...
Does it depend on your area? Because you're in a hotter climate than I am. I don't think
not with neem oil, because neem oil basically it acts like a lens, like if you were taking a magnifying lens to burn ants.
Okay.
Basically, it's what neem oil. If you spray it on your plants during the heat of the day, that's basically how it acts. It's too shiny.
Right.
So that was my way of solving the possible scald, was to do it at night right before I water, and it does help. Now I still think ladybug larvae should be a first tactic.
I usually just spray with a high stream of water. That seems to be the best tactic for outside to get rid of aphids. I'll come in and to answer. I have to watch out for scald too, even in Georgia. And I even with like spinoside, Captain Jack, like I told you to get Miss T. I try to spray at the end of the day because I don't want anything to get burned by the sun or any kind of. Even though it's a natural product, it still might burn your plant. So, but usually I spray with water. If it's still they're coming back, I'll spray with neem oil and soap and water or Captain Jack because it kind of takes out everything and then spray with water the next day. I keep on just trying to work on them and usually they go away. But also you might want to dial back if you have a high nitrogen fertilizer, you might want to dial back on that and not use it so much. That seems to they seem to thrive on like high nitrogen when your plant is getting a lot of nitrogen. So I had to kind of do that with some of my citrus because I was, they want some of that, nitrogen, but I started seeing aphids on some of them. So I'm like, okay, let me dial that back because I was spraying them with liquid seaweed and, stuff like that. But they liked it, but then the aphids came. So I'm like, okay, try to find the balance.
She said she got the woolly ones. Let it go. Neem seed.
Keep on spraying them every time you see them. I forgot what plant was it hitting?
I don't think she said.
I've never tried neem seed meal. I was reading the comment. I said I've never tried neem seed meal. I've done the oil, which I would see that the seed meal would definitely be better. But it's harder to find, or at least in my area, it is. It'd definitely be worth trying, though.
I'm gonna drop this link one more time. You want to pop up real quick and ask them because, girl, my answer is let it go.
Yeah, that's what I was asking. It depends on what it is. If the plant is towards the end of its life, if it's the end of the season, say on Nebraska, and it's starting to get hot and it's going to seed, let it go because it's just the plant is in a weakened state at that point. It's time for its life to end. That's why it starts to produce flowers and subsequently seeds. So let it go. Let it go. Just, I've heard people say for the squash issue with the vine board, just keep on growing more squash, keep on starting more squash every couple of weeks. So you keep fighting the, bugs.
That works great when you have a lot of space in Arizona. I used to do that, but anymore with being so tight in space, it doesn't work as well, which is the reason why I've gone to looking at varieties specifically bred to be resistant to squash vine board.
Yeah. I might
Queen, come on and talk to the gardeners, girl. Bless. How are you?
Oh, I got to get these questions answered. I got to be on the plantation in like 30 minutes. Peace and love, everyone. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers. I do have some questions. I don't mean to cut y'all off. Y'all doing a wonderful job. But it's just amazing that y'all were up here talking about aphids. And I am on my way to Home Depot to buy some neem oil. But in the chat, they just said, don't get no neem oil because it'll burn my plants. Any recommendations on what I can do to get rid of them? Because I got the white woolly ones too.
And what do they own? What are they attacking?
I have a grapevine there, and I think I'm not 100% sure, but I think let me go back out here because I think I might lose my reception in there. I think I seen them on my pepper plants.
And what state are you in?
North Carolina.
Hey.
My suggestion would be neem oil to go, but use at night. Like I had said before, use it at night before you water the next morning so that you don't have a burn problem. If you can find it, the neem seed meal that was recommended, if you're able to find it, that would probably be better because it's not going to be as shiny. A more pure late season, you're probably not going to find ladybug larvae, but if you do, those are great. They eat their weight in bugs and aphids in a day, and the larvae they come in like a big bin. There's like 100 of them in the bin, and I just turn them loose.
So I didn't know I was gonna have to be touching bugs to get rid of bugs.
Welcome to the gardening community.
Hey, it happens. It happens. You've got to be ready. But while you're there, my suggestion would be to basically start spraying them off. Spraying them off,
Yeah.
just with high, like your you got a water hose. Get your little turn the setting to it's well, you can use jet, but that's a little too much. But there's a setting on there. It's just like it puts out a really strong stream. Zap those jokers with the hose and keep on doing
That's
it.
what I've been doing on the grapevine. Plus, I had sprayed them with like I put cinnamon and I can't remember cinnamon and water and cayenne and something. I don't remember. Somebody gave me some cockamamie solution. I don't know. I put it together and it worked for a minute, and then it came back.
Yeah,
I've heard that cinnamon and cayenne and something else mixed in dish soap work, but I've not had much luck with it.
Yeah, the only thing I've had luck with is the spraying with water and sometimes following suit. While you're up there, though, get some Captain Jack. Because Captain Jack will take out a lot of stuff in the garden, soft-bodied and hard-bodied bugs. That's what I follow up with. If the aphids keep on coming back, I'll spray it down with Captain Jack.
What's the it's something you can buy, like, is it usually near the fertilizer? Where is that at?
You're going to want to look either near the fertilizer, or a lot of times Home Depot and Lowe's will actually have pest control in a separate area, but it's still in the gardening area.
Yeah.
Okay.
So look for like bug sprays wherever they have like bug sprays. That's probably where you're starting to see gardening bug control.
Okay. Let me see. I got weed and feed over here.
As far as neem oil, you want to get some. I can't remember the name. I got mine online because the ones they sell in the store isn't necessarily that strong. So, I got a cold pressed organic neem oil. I still haven't even used it all, but I can't remember the name. But you want to get one that's more pure than what they sell in the store. So you might want to get neem if you do decide to get neem online.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I typically do. The neem oil I have is one I also purchased online, because the one I found in the store is just not strong enough.
Yeah, is it? I think the chemical is azadirachtin. It needs to have azadirachtin in it or something. Is that it?
I think so. That sounds close.
Yeah, there needs to have azadirachtin in it. And usually that's sold online. You don't see it in the stores.
Okay.
Hey, F. Smith.
And that's
good morning, everyone. How's everybody doing?
That's correct. You do have to keep following all pest control measures. Everything is pretty much temporary. They keep coming back because it washes off, or just like
a lot here too. Yeah. But
I won the battle with my beans last year with the aphids. They tried to come for my beans, and I just kept on. I didn't even have to spray them or anything. I just kept on hitting them with the hose, and they eventually gave up.
Yeah, that's a link for G-Mama.
But
I hope it's right not to turn you. Huh?
I thought they kill your plants. Is that not true?
What does?
Aphids.
They can. If you don't stay on top of them, they can. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so as long as I'm addressing them, they won't plants. Okay. And do they spread from one plant to the other, or do they like a particular plant more than the other?
There's several species of aphids, and each one of them has its particular taste for particular plants. But they can spread. I have seen the same species that was on my roses end up deciding they wanted something of my vegetable plants. But
they go for weaker plants. If a plant is in a weakened state, it's gonna go for it. But they do have their favorites. I've had one aphid attack where they were completely covering one plant, but there was another plant right beside it. They didn't bother. They didn't want it. So you're right. Yeah, it depends on their preference. But
yes, elderberry bush. It's never been on there, but the grapevine is right next to it, and it don't bother that. But the pepper plant is next to that, so it's like it's over there. So that means my plant is weak, or that just means they want to be over there.
Could
It
be.
could be either.
Okay.
Usually with a weakened plant, you'll see some other signs besides just aphids.
Mm-hmm.
Yellowing, or what a lot of gardeners call burning, which is actually a death along the edges of the leaves, or curling. So you'll see other signs of the plant's in a weakened state just besides the aphids if it's a weakened state. It could just very well be that just happened to be tasty in their view and they wanted to eat it.
Okay. Okay.
I
This
do
is
have
so
one
helpful, y'all.
suggestion too. Is your pepper plant producing peppers?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to harvest my banana peppers now. I'm waiting on my green and red peppers to mature, I guess, to get larger and start to turn in color. But all the peppers, the one that's attacking is the sweet peppers.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead and take your peppers off. That
Yeah.
way, yeah, because it's trying to produce right now, and so it's focusing on that instead of trying to fight these aphids. So you want to take all the fruit off, including the flowers. If there's any dead leaves on it, take those off. If they're, give it a little trim if there's any little dead branches, but get the plant back in a healthy state after you treat it too, because it's going to keep on being weak, and the aphids are going to have a vessel to come back to if the plant continues to be in a weak state.
And when you remove all of the stress and the seed producing flowers, it will, once it gets back to a healthy state, a lot of times, particularly with peppers, this early in the season, you'll get more peppers off of it as long as you take them quickly.
Yeah, because we're still in summer, so so it has time to put some more flowers and start producing again. So you just want to get it back in a healthy state so it can, not be so weak.
Okay, cool. Oh my gosh, y'all are like golden here. Like, I appreciate you. More than you know, more than you know, more than you know.
We've been there.
So,
This
is my first time ever.
Put all that effort.
But I wasn't letting anything stop me. And then when I ran across, actually, Miss T with the T.
Oh.
With the first one. And then I saw all these gardeners. I was like, are you kidding me? I am doing this year. I'm like, they can do it. I can do it too. So, thank you. I appreciate y'all. A whole lot. I'm just looking to see if I see any of Captain J's, right?
Captain Jack. And go for the concentrate. Go for the concentrate, and that way you can, because the one in the spray bottle, that's nice, but you can mix. If you go for the concentrate, it's going to be a little bit more, but it'll last longer. You can mix it yourself and adjust the strength.
Okay. Oh, okay.
But if they don't have the concentrate, then go ahead and get the pre-mixed one.
No, Captain Jack's. It says Captain Jack's neem oil. Is that what I'm getting, or no?
I think it's Captain Jack Dead Bug. That's what the name is.
Yeah.
The only one we have that you mix.
And it's funny you mentioned that, Fresh, because yesterday I was cleaning out my storage and I ran across a full bottle. I didn't even realize I had back there. I had to get that place organized because it was a mess.
You sound like, well, I have stuff. I'm about to buy new stuff. Don't even know what I have. I got to get organized.
All of my neem oils.
Is that Captain Jack?
Yeah, it says Captain Jack's.
Oh, really? I didn't even know he made a neem oil.
Yeah. And what did you say it needed to have in there? What was the
Well, the store-bought neem oils are a little
they're a little weak.
Yeah.
I was pulling up what
she concentrate, so that might be okay. I don't know.
This one says concentrate. Hold on. Y'all know I wear glasses, so to see this will be.
So the concentrate, if you have time to like get it in a couple of days, I can send the link to it for to Ms. T, because I found it because it's the Dead Bug brew, right?
Mm-hmm. What the Captain Yeah.
That's in
Got
the
it.
concentrate.
Can I order it from like Amazon or?
Yeah.
You can. But
Well, I'd
usually
rather
they
have
have
that.
spray in the store though. But sometimes they have the concentrate in the store. But usually it's just a pre-mixed spray, which is good. But I mean, my mom uses that one, but I like to mix it myself.
Well, this says neem oil and it's a concentrate, but what I'm looking for is not a neem oil. I'm looking for dead bug.
Right.
Okay, I got you. I got you.
It
So I'm gonna
shows
need this.
that it shows that there's the spray at Walmart. I can't find it at Home Depot, and that's where you said you were at, right?
Yeah, I just came to Home Depot because it was close to the house.
Yeah.
I found mine at a Tractor Supply. So I don't know if
Yeah.
there's a Tractor Supply in your area.
Yeah. Tractor Supply shows that it's also got the concentrate, but it's cheaper to get it to order it than it is to purchase the concentrate at Tractor Supply.
Well, I'm gonna I'm just gonna order because I got like next day delivery on that, and I'll just spray today. Spray them. I mean, I didn't see anything today actually, which was really amazing. But I've been seeing those woolly ones flying around, like literally flying. So when I saw that, I said, "Oh no, they're gonna attack my plants and kill everything," because I worked so hard on them. I didn't want that to happen, and I wanted to be
That sounds like millibugs rather than aphid.
No, when I pulled it up and I Googled what it was, it said it was a woolly aphid. Pull that up and on Google that and woolly aphid and see what it looks like. It looks like a piece of lint flying around.
Oh wow. Okay.
Miss T said, "Oh wow."
Yes, it does. I have never had that species of aphid.
Did you see what I'm talking about?
I see it.
Yeah, I pulled it up and yeah, it looks like a piece of lint. I've never had that species of aphid before.
I've seen them twice. I seen one day, and then the next day, I don't even remember where I parked at. And then the next, I don't remember where I parked at.
I see a new aphid every year in our yard, so there's a lot of them. So I'm
The
not.
variations.
Oh, yeah.
I looked up the variations. Like, what is this?
I knew there was a huge number of species of them, and that's the one reason why my first recommendation is ladybugs and ladybug larvae, because they'll eat all of them.
As a director, yeah. Okay, I thought that was the word. I wasn't sure.
Okay,
I'm not use the word.
You want to get an email with as directing in it, and you can't really find those in the store, so you got to order that online. And then when you do mix it, add some soap in there because it helps the neem oil bind to the plant. I usually use like a gallon jug and put a little bit of neem, a little bit of soap, and then water.
Okay. Say the name of it again. Atharaxin.
If I'm saying it right, as a director. If you put it in Google, Google usually knows what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
If you get close, because it's such a weird name. But yeah, that's the neem oil that you want, whatever has azadirachtin in it. But you also, it'll be good to get some Captain Jack too. I'm telling you, that Captain Jack comes in handy with those leaf-footed bugs. I take those out like crazy at the end of summer.
What do y'all do with all your harvests? Like, I mean, I have so much out there. I didn't know it was going to produce so much stuff.
I do a lot of drying, a lot of canning, certain things.
Giving away a lot of stuff.
Certain things you can just give away. I give zucchini away left and right.
Yeah, I like to make pre-made dishes and soups, stuff like that. So freeze stuff. Hopefully this year I'll be able to can some stuff. That was the whole goal for me even starting in my gardening journey, especially with all the fruit trees, was I wanted to have my own fruit to can and make jams and jellies because I love to make jams and stuff like that. So hopefully I'll be able to do that to some extent this year. But that's what I usually do. I like soups and you know, so I'll do pre-made soups and then stick them in the freezer. So when I'm rushing off to work, I have like a little pint of soup in my lunchbox. So
you use jars like this to do your canning in?
Some jars,
Mason
yeah.
jars.
Jar,
I couldn't
And
get
they
my
can hold up to
webcam to work very well, so I'm looking at a little tiny screen.
yeah.
And
There's
I
an
have to
actual
use my
canning
phone.
system or something?
You can do water bath canning as well as pressure canning. I do both, but if you're doing water bath canning, you need to stick to high acidic things. You don't want to do any meats or potatoes or anything that doesn't have a lot of acid in it in a water bath can. But the ones that don't have a lot of acidity, you do pressure canning.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a brand new
the only
pressure
thing I
cooker.
wanna,
I need to get out now. That's my goal, to mess with my pressure cooker this year. So I have a brand new one I have not even used yet. So
My grandmother has my great grandmother's pressure canner, and when I get up the nerve to go through my grandmother's a porter, so when I get up the nerve to go through and get it out of her piled kitchen, I want to try to use that one eventually, but I do have one that's more modern. It's just I want to, out of a love of history, I want to see if the one that's been in my family for generations can be used.
that's amazing. That's amazing.
But it's buried in a hoarded kitchen.
Smith, sorry we didn't get to talk to you
guys
about
pickle? Do you guys pickle too? Or is that what it's
I
called?
do.
Pickling?
I do. And I can't keep pickles in the house. I have a 2.5-year-old who braids my pickles like crazy. And I can actually send you a refrigerator pickle recipe that's pretty simple. That's been in my family for many years. And I don't know, the 2-year-old loves it.
If you would, my email is on my channel. If you would
Okay.
like
the link a couple
to
times
help me, I would appreciate it so much.
Okay. Yeah, we tried those pickled okras and stuff. I was like, never again.
Oh my gosh, that's what I have okra in my yard. That's what I want to pickle. I want to pickle my okra. My cucumbers, they didn't make it.
Oh.
You might have done a little. Where are you located again?
North Carolina.
Okay.
Zone 8A.
Okay, so I don't know. I'm in zone 7B, 8A. I'm actually literally on the border as far as the USDA is concerned. The line exists right in the city I'm at. And I didn't start planting my cucumbers until 2 weeks ago. So you might have started a little early.
Somebody told me to replant.
Yeah.
Because I have seeds, they told me to replant.
Yeah. Cucumbers grow so quick from seed.
They do.
Replant.
Yeah.
I'm planning to do that next weekend. I want to plant them on next Sunday. Actually, it's just I want to time it from next Sunday to see how long it takes.
Yeah, my cucumbers are just coming in as well.
I diary, but it didn't work. I didn't keep up with my diary of my stuff, so I don't even know how long stuff has been really growing or what stage they got to. And that was supposed to help me going forward when I do this again. And again. But I learned so much. I even got seeds from my basil. I pulled some seeds out my basil plant. Because the seed, one of them did. So that was cool.
Yeah, one of the things, if you can restart over and over again, is basil and cucumbers. So if you have trouble with either one, just start over again. I starting cucumbers in the house this go around and trying to do it hydroponically because I have such bad problems with cucumber beetles outside. So I'm starting them inside and keeping them inside as well as doing it outside too, because we tried quick pickles last year for the first time. My husband was in love. So I've got to make
What kind of pickles?
Quick pickles.
Quick pickles.
They take about 12 hours. This refrigerated pickles are the same.
Yeah.
That's another
You don't have
name
to
for
do
them.
all that whole heating and canning and everything. You
Yeah.
just refrigerate them and keep them in the
Mhm.
fridge. They don't even last that long, so it's perfect because everybody eats them.
Yeah. What the recipe my family does is basically similar to it is a refrigerator pickle, and I'm the only one that uses dill in mine. Everybody else just uses vinegar and salt and onions and cucumbers and layers. But I do mine with dill. My son prefers it with dill, although he won't eat the dill. But then again, he eats the pickled onions like they're going out of style.
Ooh, I love pickled onions too.
Oh my gosh, I love pickled onions.
Now, what do you do with all your harvest, F. Smith? I see you got that zucchini coming in, F. Smith. What do you do with yours?
So I do similarly, the same thing. I'm not doing any kind of pressure canning because I don't know how. I'm just learning how to really water bath canning for I guess maybe the last 4 or 5 years. I kind of learned. I'm still a little nervous about that little process or whatnot. But last year, to get ahead of everything, what I did, because the tomatoes were coming in so fast, is that I figured out, okay, I can core them and freeze them. And then when I'm ready to start canning the tomatoes and everything, I had them already there. So that took a lot of pressure off of me as far as getting all these tomatoes. Oh my God, what am I going to do with them? They're all getting here and they're turning rotten and all that kind of stuff. So pretty much with this kind of stuff with your harvest is to really kind of pace yourself. You got to prepare first and forehand because this stuff is coming and you got to figure out what you're going to do with it. But then once you do that, you prepare for it, and some of it you're going to can, some of it you're going to freeze, and a lot of it you're going to give away. So
another thing you can also freeze is you can do a light roasting on your pepper plants, and they'll freeze. You just want to remove the seeds from them, and they freeze well. My aunt does it; she's done it for years and years. Living in Arizona for 8 years, it's just habit for me to go ahead and string them and dry them.
Yeah, Cece was talking about it's a recall on the cucumbers, and I was so mad because I bought some cucumbers. I was like, I guess I gotta grow some.
Just
I
start
also
over.
dehydrate too, so I dehydrate my food as well.
I got to get back to doing that.
I would say the vegetables, not the other stuff.
What do you dehydrate?
What did you? Not cucumbers, peppers. Did I do tomatoes?
I've done sun-dried
and
staining for tomatoes.
some other stuff too.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I want to do a whole. I told y'all my thing is soup, so I want to do a whole dry dehydrated soup mix.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah,
I do like garlic and onions. I'll deliberately dehydrate those so that I can powder them. Another thing that I tend to dehydrate is turmeric, and I'm gonna have to redo the ginger, but I'll dehydrate those too. A lot of the herbs you get in a grocery store, they're dehydrated and then powdered. And I have a particular coffee grinder that I specifically use for powdering dehydrated root vegetables.
Pizza sauce with tomatoes. Yeah, Ada RV gave me a lot of tomato seeds. I've grown them before, so I'm prepared. So yeah, I'll be growing some tomatoes and cucumbers here soon.
Okay.
I have 21 varieties of tomato seeds alone.
And then my corn salad is kind of at a standstill. F. Smith. I don't know what she's doing, but she was growing for a minute.
And then now she's not. Plants do that. After a while, they'll grow, and then they look like they don't want to grow, and then they'll shoot up out of nowhere.
Right.
Were you able to get those holes in the bucket, Miss T? Were you able to get those holes in the bucket?
My sister Bob did. Bob the builder.
Cool.
And whatnot.
Yeah.
One of the lessons I just had about plants just suddenly deciding to do their own thing. I had planted a whole bunch of common chives. Common chives take forever to germinate, and I figured they weren't going to germinate. So I planted my eggplants in the same bin, and now I'm having the common chives come up too. So I've got to pluck the eggplant out and move it to another spot because it's going to get overtaken by the chives.
Mm-hmm.
And those common chives were planted almost a month and a half ago. Now they're deciding to come.
Oh, man, this was a
Good
good combo today.
Yeah, it's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
F. Smith,
I don't know the problem you can have. It's one of the better ones.
You going to church this morning, F. Smith?
Yes, ma'am. You know it.
Well, I thank everybody for coming up on the panel and helping out and everything. F. Smith's going to church. I'm about to go hang out with my dad.
Happy
Tell your
Father's
dad
Day,
Happy Father's
everybody.
Day.
And then the next time we go around, we're going to do the sprouting. Anybody else here sprouts?
Oh.
No?
My kid came in, so I'm ready. My kid, but I won't be able to set it up until after I come back from out of town. So it'd be sometime.
What was it that you asked about sprouting?
Week. Yeah, we're going to learn how to sprout the next Sunday.
What's sprouting?
Sprouting is when you take a lot of seeds of something that you can eat when it's young. I have, I think of the name of them. They're not peas. Peas is one that people use too, but I think mine are lentils that I tend to sprout and eat just as the sprout. So you lay a whole bed of seeds down in a very, very low amount of soil, if any. I don't use soil, but some people do. And just let them sprout. Once they've sprouted for a couple of days, you harvest them.
You put them in, Fresh puts them in her, what do you say you put them in, Fresh?
Mason jar. Yeah, I found that I like the mason jar technique. It's much easier and just simple to do it in the mason jars. So I've been doing that pretty much all winter. So I'm still doing it. I'm going to probably continue to do it that way. I do want to start doing some microgreens as well. So that's probably going to be my next venture. Yeah.
Microgreens. I got to get up on stuff. I'm like behind the times here.
Mason jar is probably the easiest way to start.
Yeah.
Then I used to do them in 1040 beds because my household eats a lot of salads. So I was doing a lot of them. But I'm not doing as much of them anymore. So I've been debating on doing them in 2-quart or half-gallon mason jars.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a space saver. So you don't. I like it much better than having to do the tray thing. I wasn't really feeling the tray and trying to do dirt.
And in my case, I'm so tight on space anymore because we decided to go full time in our RV. So we actually do live in a fifth wheel. So that's one of the big things because I used to do them in large trays and I had many trays going at a time. I don't have space for that here anymore. So I've been looking at different ways because I didn't do any this year. I didn't do any planting indoors because I didn't have the space for it. So I'm trying to find methods that
I don't know if y'all can hear
I can
me.
still do some stuff inside.
Oh, there we go.
Potted RV. What part of Arizona are you in?
I'm actually not in Arizona anymore. I used to be in Tucson, Arizona. And then I ended up moving to southwestern Oklahoma. Very small. My husband works for the military, works for the Air Force. Not in the Air Force, but he works for him. So
Yeah, I
We
lived
need
in
to for this
Avondale
job.
for okay, yeah, I lived in Avondale for 15 years and I moved back here to Arkansas about 7 years ago.
Avondale's pretty.
Yeah.
Tucson used to be. It's not anymore.
No. Yeah, the whole place has changed. The whole
Exactly.
yeah, all those metro areas have changed a lot. They've grown by leaps and bounds. So yeah.
And
All right, for coming up, I'm excited about doing the sprouting next go round. I want to put in some of my meals and whatnot and expand my palate.
Yes, I've been telling you. I think you're gonna love it, Miss T. It's super easy.
I
I ain't gotta worry
know.
about no aphids or nothing.
Yep. And that form is healthier for you. So yeah.
Lord, y'all gonna turn my house looking like G Mama's in a minute. Like,
Or like mine.
okay,
Oh, it's
I was
crazy.
trying to grow 1 or 2 things, and now I got like 5,000 seeds. I gotta
One
get
of the peppers. What can I do with this pepper? It just fell off. What can I do with this?
It's a eat me.
Can you eat it or is it oh it's
I'd
unripe? Eat
I
it.
learned
Do you
that
have
baby.
which variety of
is
pepper
that
is
a
it?
bell pepper?
It's a
Yeah, is it a bell pepper?
it was supposed to be a red or orange pepper. It's one or the other. I don't know which
Yeah,
one.
you
You
can
can
still eat.
well it's a green
You can
pepper
still eat
now.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a green bell pepper, so
Saute that bad boy with some onions and make a veggie wrap.
Mhm.
yeah. Or
Let's go.
toss it in
That
with
juice you
whatever you're
saw
gonna
me
do.
drinking just a few moments ago, I had made with my my celery out my garden. I
That
juiced
girl
it.
got celery.
Ooh, nice.
Are you sure you're a beginner gardener?
Right.
100%.
I know, because I can't even grow
I
celery.
know what I want. I want to. All I eat is fruits and vegetables. That's it.
Right.
So
Okay.
when it's time and it's harvesting, it's time to harvest. I go look it up and it look like it look on somebody else's. I take it up. I did a salad fast for a whole week because I got my red cabbage, my Bibb lettuce, and my kale, and so I was like, I gotta make salads because I mean I don't have any. I didn't know anything else to do with the. I mean I had a lot, and then it came back because I found out that you can. It just keeps coming back. So this is what it looks like now. It came back again, but I had stripped this all the way down. Those are what it looks like now. So that's the thing. But I had to hurry up and water this stuff before I go to the plantation because I work from home.
You like me, she calls it the plantation.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Involuntary.
Before I go to my dad's house too, somebody was telling me I need, because I put my strawberries in the soil. I got to put like some leaves or something on top because they're kind of naked, I guess, when the sun hits the soil. Is that right, y'all?
You don't do that with strawberries.
Yeah.
Strawberries, you don't want to do that with. You get that crown buried at all, the strawberries will die.
Yeah.
So real
I'm glad
quickly.
you guys
So
know.
you don't want to do that. Leave the soil. If you do anything at all, a little bit of straw, but you want it in a very fine layer. You do
I
not.
gotta be like 2 half. I gotta go borrow some
Yeah.
hay
Mhm.
from somebody's house.
And
Like,
I
what
would
do I do
definitely
with the hay?
add some hay or
Yeah.
if you go to that hydroponic store,
Oh,
they might have rice holes. I like to use rice holes.
Rice holes are nice, but they're harder to find. So if you have a hydroponic store in your area, definitely go that route.
But
Just
yeah,
keep it very thin.
I would even pull that little strawberry plant up a little bit and have it higher than the dirt level. That crown, you can't bury that crown. It will take out your strawberry plant so fast.
Glad I talked to you guys. What's up, Fatima?
Oh my gosh, I never knew that either. My strawberry plant not doing
I wasn't aware of that. Yeah, because I mulched mine
it's
the other
okay.
day, and I think it mulched over.
You can darn near have them on top of the dirt. They'll be fine. But if you bury that crown, they're out of here.
Good to know.
Oh well, maybe that's what's wrong with mine.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they come and then they die. They come and then they die.
Yeah, I tried to grow strawberries before too, and it was a no-go. That could have been a problem.
Try to raise them up a little bit past that dirt So
Yeah.
Oh, this is all the way down, like super down far.
Oh, yeah.
Let me tell you how this happened. I tried to actually grow a strawberry plant, right? Because I had the seed. I threw the seed into one that was full. The pot was full. And then this one had a little bit of dirt in it, and I still had a few seeds, and I just decided to toss them in there. Didn't do anything to it. And this is the one that grew. The other one didn't grow. So that's how I ended up.
you just got to raise it up a little bit. Just make sure that crown isn't buried. It'll if it survived past the other one, it's a go getter. But just kind of raise it up a little bit so it can continue to be healthy.
Oh, I'm doing that next Sunday too. Oh, you guys are too much. Going to hear my little pepper. I love it over here, y'all.
Every other
He
Sunday.
invited me and I came. So,
We're about to almost an hour and a half.
All right.
Thank everybody for coming. Thank everybody for subscribing to Queen and Potter RV and whatnot and all the help. I gotta go say hi to my daddy.
tell Daddy hi.
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
Happy Father's Day. And happy Father's
Yeah,
Day to all
happy
the
Father's
fathers.
Day to all the fathers.
Hey, fellas.
And thank you,
Mine
Potter.
probably aren't awake yet. Still pretty early over here.
Oh yeah, your very first live stream.
It is very first one.
Oh my gosh. Are you serious? You ought to rock these on your channel.
Yeah.
If I can learn how to do it, the funny thing is, my younger brother told me he was done doing things for me. He's IT. I don't know my way around a computer to save my life. So I'm steadily learning how to do YouTube itself. And he basically threw me into editing. I'm getting better at it. So I'm learning.
Yeah, just got to keep doing it.
Yeah. I see you're up to like 35 or so now. So, hey, 35 subscribers.
I appreciate it. I love everybody who watches. I do enjoy it.
But I got to get out of here, and S. Smith's going to get ready for church.
Y'all have a beautiful day, y'all. Thank you so much.
And I'm really, really happy you guys invited me. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, everybody take care. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.